Hey, my brothers and sisters. Today, why crack open the book of Deuteronomy? This is season 29, episode number 1. We're going to start in Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. All right, Deuteronomy means second law. It's a retelling and a summarizing by Moses of the books of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. And then this one, Deuteronomy, that's the Pentateuch, the fifth and final books of the Pentateuch. Now, it's going to be some history, there's going to be some narrative, there's going to be some summarizing. It's a little bit of a sermon, and it's abridging, it's shrinking those books to point us to the real lesson. So here's my prayer. Lord, please open our hearts to love the Old Testament, love the God of the Old Testament, and love the ways of the Old Testament. Here we are, chapter 1, verse 1. Read with me. Thanks for being here. These are the words that Moses spoke to all of Israel beyond the Jordan in the wilderness, in the Arabah opposite Suph, between Paran and Tophel, Laban, Hazeroth, and Dizahab. All right, pause. Don't get crazy on the funny names. Here's the point. It's written by Moses. Secondly, it's to all the people of Israel. All of Israel is in one place, and Moses is speaking to them. And where are they? They're on the beyond the Jordan. They're on the wrong side of the Jordan. They're on the east side of the Jordan. What we know as Israel today is on the west side of the Jordan. And they're in the wilderness. So this is a phrase meaning kind of northern, starting with northern Egypt and the far eastern lands. And that's what these represent. The point is, they're not on the west side of the Jordan, which they will be eventually here. Verse 2. It is 11 days' journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir to Kadesh Barnea. In the 40th year, on the first day of the 11th month, Moses spoke to all the people of Israel according to all that the Lord had given him in commandment to them, after he had defeated Sihon the king of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon, and Og the king of Bashan, who lived in Ashtaroth in Edrei. All right, so it's 11 days journey. Here's kind of the funny thing about the 40 years in the wilderness of Israel. The whole distance that they travel could have been traveled in a couple of weeks, a few weeks. And here we see it in the passage. He says it's 11 days journey from here to there, then maybe, 11 more and 11 more. But the point is, it's days journeys, or maybe if you push it, weeks journey, and they're there for 40 years because the Lord has them in a disciplining mindset. Okay, so this is a book by Moses. This is Moses' last will and testament, and we're gonna get to know Moses. We're gonna see what the big fuss is about Moses. We're gonna hear a summary of these 40 years. The year is, as we speak here, it's either 1480 or 1408 BC or 1220 BC, depending on how the scholars date this date of conquest. Now, don't worry, but because the scholars don't know exactly the birthday of Moses, doesn't mean that he didn't exist and this didn't happen. All right, so after this point, Joshua is going to take over the people of Israel, and that happens at the end of this book. So this call to Deuteronomy is a call to love the Lord as revealed and expressed in real time for them for sure, in real time, real people, and real situation. So Deuteronomy is kind of summarizing the establishment of this relationship of Israel to God. And it's not dissimilar, and that's why we can glean all kinds of things from it, of our relationship to God. So if the Jews had difficulty with trust and obedience and followership, that's probably going to be something that we need to glean and obey as well. So there's going to be great stuff for us to lean into, and bad stuff here expressed for us to lean away from. People, as you know, are good examples of being good examples sometimes, and people are good examples of being bad examples. And Deuteronomy is, trust me, it is a book of mistakes and missteps and misunderstandings. So it's a book of it's the second law, but it's also the second mistakes. I think that's my name for it today. Write this down. Deuteronomy is the book of second mistakes. It's like a blooper reel. So as a reader and as a listener, this is going to require some interpretive wisdom for us. All right, let me continue. Verse 5, beyond the Jordan in the land of Moab, Moses undertook to explain this law, saying, the Lord our God said to us in Horeb, you've stayed long enough on this mountain. Take turn and take your journey, go to the hill country of the Amorites and all their neighbors in the Arabah, in the hill country and in the lowland and in the Negeb by the seacoast, the land of the Canaanites and Hebron, as far as the great river, the river Euphrates. Verse 8, final one today. See, I have set a land before you. Go in and take possession of the land that the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give to them and to their offspring after them. So this book is going to remind us of the character of God. He's going to say, I'm giving you a good land. I'm giving you good leaders. I'm giving you a good opportunity. I'm giving you a good law. I'm going to give you my holiness. I'm giving you myself and my presence, my character, my shepherding, providing my faithfulness and judgment. But he also allows people free will, agency, and rejection, and he's not going to suffer fools forever. So he gives the law, and he gives justice and judgment even. But basically he's saying, I've given you everything you need to make the right decision, as he does for us here today. Now, this is not a book about rainbows and puppies. It's about difficult circumstances, unknown outcomes, and limited data points. And around you, surrounding you, are going to be some knuckleheads. People around you are going to be making some bad decisions. But through through all of this, God's faithfulness, his hesed, is going to be displayed so that the sin and rebellion so is the sin and rebellion of people. So these people that we read about are going to have trust and obedience issues, but that's okay. Why? Because those who read it, you and me, are also having trust and obedience issues. So we're going to ask to put our spiritual eyeglasses on here. So why study the book of Deuteronomy? Well, Jesus loved the book. He quoted it. Paul loved the book. He quoted. That's enough reason right there. It gives us great principles for living, ethical behavior, relational behavior, sacrificial behavior. But here's my main point for today. You will get to know God if you read the book of Deuteronomy. Thanks for being here. See you tomorrow. We'll read more.